Good evening, Falcon families. We promised you a live tour, and that's what you're gonna get. We're gonna have Mr. Doughty take you guys on a tour of the building. We're just waiting for a few folks to pop in, um, and then we're gonna get started on our tour. That's me knocking on his door. I'm gonna flip the camera over. Look who's here.
Hey, hey.
There is your microphone.
All right, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Are we live?
We are live.
All right, awesome. Let me, I'll hold this in my hand just in case. All right, so this is a tour then, right?
Yep.
All right, well, why don't we head out front, and I will start the tour off where we typically do. Because if we're going to do a tour, then I'll do the full meal deal. So one of the things that I always want to tell people when we do a tour of the school is where Great Hearts had its origins. So Great Hearts started in around the mid-90s in Arizona at a school called Tempe Preparatory Academy. Now, Tempe Prep isn't a part of Great Hearts. It's its own charter school. But Tempe Prep was a response of charter school law that had just opened up, and a number of parents, many of whom were professors at Arizona State University in Tempe, Arizona, near Phoenix, who said, all right, we want a better education for our kids. And I'm oversimplifying it, but they, being professors, and also many of them very familiar with the classical liberal arts, said, well, our best students and our best experience has been with the classical liberal arts. Why don't we bring that to the public sphere and see what happens? Appreciate classical liberal arts up until that point, again, pretty much left to old stately schools in the northeast of the United States behind really big brick buildings. And I'm going to take my glasses off because they're fogging up like crazy. But anyway, Tempe Prep was born. Well, after a couple of years, the demand for Tempe Prep was such that there's a couple of people who needed to, one of you are phoning trying to get a hold of someone, they needed to open up another school, and they opened up Veritas Preparatory Academy. And the people that opened up Veritas, our own Andrew Ellison was the first headmaster of that. He's our executive director of San Antonio. They said, you know what, we need to open up more schools. And what was created out of that was Great Hearts. And Great Hearts Forest Heights is just an extension of that. I came over with my wife and a number of other people from Arizona. We helped to start Great Hearts Texas here a number of years ago. And I've been involved with starting Monte Vista, Northern Oaks, Western Hills, and now Forest Heights. And it's been grand. So why don't we come on down here? So one of the things that you'll see when you come to Great Hearts, first and foremost, no, teachers, it's okay. One of the first things that I want you to see is actually some of our fantastic teachers. Pause, hold on for a second. Impromptu little interview here. This is Amanda Means. She is one of our first grade teachers. What are you looking forward? And this is Mrs. Gordon, one of our kindergarten teachers. Mrs. Means, terribly impromptu. What are you looking forward to most about next week?
Oh, seeing all those little faces that I've seen on the screen be in front of me and just watching them interact, being able to talk to them without the screen in front of me. So I'm just excited to see them.
This has been a little interesting trying to do distance learning with such little ones, right?
It has. They are a lot of fun though. Even on the screen, they love to chat. If you just get them going, they will start. And I've heard some great stories. I know what they're interested in, and I feel like I know them a little bit more than I would have had we started the regular way.
I've heard some interesting stories where kids have brought in random items and different things to the Zoom session to create a little culture. So, no, Mrs. Gordon, don't you be walking away on me. Don't you be walking away on me. Same question to you. You have kindergartners. These are the smallest. Many of them have never been to school before. So what are your thoughts? What are you excited about? What comes to mind for you thinking about these little kids coming to school?
My excitement for the coming year is just to get to know them even better and to experience with them the gift of learning, how they will grow, and just all the excitement that they bring when they learn something new. Their eyes sparkle and they get big smiles on their faces, and I just can't wait to experience that with them. And I have enjoyed getting to know them on Zoom as well. They are telling me all kinds of stories. We have show and tell every morning, and I hear about a lot of things that are going on in their little lives. But one of the most common thing I hear about is that they're losing a tooth, or their teeth are wiggly, or they lost a tooth, and they love to share about their teeth. So it's just been fun.
Well, it's a big change for them. And so I know you two are probably getting ready for probably pack-up pickup tomorrow. I know we have that going on, so I'll let you guys go. I was actually going to point out to our families at home the girl with the pearl earrings. So if I'm going to do a tour of Great Hearts, one of the things I want to show off is we have paintings on our walls. We don't have posters. I remember one of my elementary school posters was a picture. It had Garfield holding a lasagna in one hand, and it had a stack of books in the other. And there's some witty comment. This was before memes. I am that old. The gray is real. But is some witty saying about how you need to eat and read, and a little comment. It'd be a meme now. And we choose to put up real paintings. And one of these things is we believe that it's important for us to fill the minds and the eyes of our students with things that are real, with things that are beautiful. There's a lot of opportunities that our kids have to consume culture of a variety of kinds. So we want to put the best of our Western culture in front of them. So let's walk down the hallway. Before we do, we still have some boxes. These are some tables and stuff that we're getting ready to do some what we call concurrent teaching. So all of our teachers, they already have one of these, and now we've got a second one of these tables for them so they can, while they're teaching the students here on campus, they will be recording their videos. But if any of your students that are here, if they need to visit the nurse, this is for some of you because you've never been to the campus before. This is the nurse's office, and I have keys, so why don't we kind of go in and see what we can find here. There we go. So this is our nurse Hildebrand. She's a fantastic woman, but this is the inside of the clinic. And this is where our nurse Hildebrand works. She opened up Monte Vista. She opened up Northern Oaks, and she came here. We're so lucky to have her. She's been being a school nurse for a long time. She's seen hundreds of kids, and so she takes care of our kids really well. She's taking care of all of my kids. And my wife, who teaches at Northern Oaks, sees her as a real blessing. Has helped her to understand the difference between boo-boos and real injuries that actually need the help of the nurse. So let's walk down here. All right. So starting off, we have our kindergarten rooms here. And why don't we sneak in here on Miss Oretta. Miss Oretta, this is our Falcon Family's Way. Hi, Miss Oretta. All right. And so this is our kindergarten room. And you see it's social. All the desks are ready for our students to come back, and they are getting ready. We have our packet pickup ready here for our students tomorrow. So for all our kindergartners who are staying at home to continue their distance learning, we're going to be sending home some things for you tomorrow. But very spacious room spread out, and just perfect. Oh yeah, let's take a look at this. So a lot of our rooms, I love what you've done with this, Miss Arata. We have this tree, and on this tree are our virtues. And this is really the heart and soul of our school. We certainly want our students to learn mathematics and reading and writing and that. But more importantly, the mission of Great Hearts is we exist to cultivate the hearts and minds of our students in the pursuit of truth, goodness, and beauty. And so we are aiming, our goal is to form virtue. And we mean form virtue. We don't mean teaching values. Oftentimes at schools you hear that they want to teach the value of humility and honesty. No, we want to form honesty in our students. We want to form citizenship in our students. We want to, as Aristotle says, we want to form their souls. We want to actually change the very fabric of who they are into something that is noble and good and will be an investment in their city, and in their culture, in their polis, as in their political sphere, that they will have an influence on fellow man for good. And so we are interested in forming this, and it's a beautiful picture with a tree. The only thing, Ms. Orata, I think what I need to get a falcon for you up here high in the tree, so we can have our falcons there. So, Ms. Orata, thank you. And I know she is looking forward to getting the students back in the building. So, Mr. Ruiz, one of the things we have here on the floor is we have these dots, and they're going to continue on down here. This is to get ready for our pickup. And so when we're doing pickup, we can't have kids crowded together. So all of these are 6 feet apart. And so when you come to pick up your students all the way up and down the hallway, our students are going to be socially distanced. So some more beautiful paintings. These walls are really barren. And these walls soon will be filled with your students' work. I can't wait, but we reserve these walls for your work and stuff. So let me see here. All right, there's a first grade room. All right, Mrs. Trujillo, Mr. Trujillo, Mrs. Means, say hello. A couple of our faculty kids. That has been a real blessing being able to work here and also have a couple of our faculty students come in. So here's a first grade room. And again, all the desks are as far apart as we can manage. And the idea here, families, is with the students that are in our rooms, we want to keep them as far apart as is possible. So that should, and most likely it will. I'm not looking forward to a COVID, a positive case happening on campus. But Mr. Ruiz, if you could back up, for instance, the idea here is that in terms of if there's someone in this class who ends up getting COVID, the idea is that, well, we look around and say, okay, anyone within 6 feet. And so that means that the way the desks are spaced out, that's going to be a very small amount of people. And we want to limit that containment and limit the effect that any sort of necessary quarantine period will have on our families. We're trying to do that, so we're spacing these out. It's also one of the reasons why initially we're thinking of only starting up 2 sections and having one larger distance learning section, and we realized, well, we'd end up having 2 full rooms. And so probably quarter 2, we'd end up having to have 3 rooms regardless, and this just allows us to be much safer. So I'm very happy we made that decision. All right, so Mr. Ruiz, let me show the families one of my favorite rooms. And this is our kitchen, and it's because we get food. We have a popcorn maker here that sometimes gets some use. But families, I'm not sure you know this, but our PSO feeds an incredible habit in our faculty, and the habit comes in the form of coffee. And so I'm not sure you know this, but your PSO provides the coffee. This is a gigantic bag, by the way. Coffee for our faculty, and our faculty loves coffee. I love coffee. These, by the way, are 2 pages of instructions for how to make coffee properly. I'm very snobbish when it comes to this. And then just recently, we got ourselves a cold brew coffee. So I'm going to circle around here, Mr. Ruiz. Sorry if you're getting dizzy at home. But we have some cold brew. And actually, Mr. Ruiz, we are out. So you and I are going to have to make some cold brew later. Get ready for next week. So come on down here. So as we go down this hallway, if you want to see, this is Mrs. Wiegand. And she is the one, Mrs. Wiegand, you're the one who started off the tree, aren't you? Are you the original tree person? I think you are. And I know our teachers have followed suit. I look forward to seeing trees in all the rooms. I was telling Miss Orata, we need to get some falcons so we can put a falcon high up in the tree and hide them there in the leaves.
I love that idea, and I would love to see a Great Hearts falcon for it.
Ooh, I like that. So, all right, let's come down here. What was I going to say? I had something in mind. Anyway. Oh, yeah. One of the things, families, that I want to, right now we have kinder, first, second, and a couple third grade classrooms. Long term, the building that we are in is only going to be a kindergarten through 6th grade. We will see that in year 4. Right now, we are in year 2. Next year, we will be a kindergarten through 8th grade, and we'll see some of those rooms upstairs. But the year after, year 4, this building, we will add a kinder section, a first, third, second, third, fourth. Get the idea. Kinder through 6. Hi, Miss Tassick. Wave to everybody.
Hello.
These are all our Falcon families. Miss Tassick, if I can ask you one question. What are you looking forward to most next week?
Oh man, I'm so excited to see my students and have them in my classroom with me. I'm really excited to set the tone for the school year here and to practice all of our procedures, including the COVID ones and all of the really fun things like lining up and washing our hands. And I'm so excited to do that with all of my students.
Awesome. And I know your students are excited to see you. She really does have this level of energy all day long. It's pretty impressive.
It's true. I don't know what it is. Must be the cold brew, Headmaster Doughty.
Oh, there we go. There we go. All right. So in year 4, as I was saying, this school is going to become a kindergarten through 6th grade. And so some of these grades and stuff will miss. But our building is growing and our school is growing, and it's pretty incredible. So let's keep going down. Some more beautiful photos here. All right. Let's see here. Other socially distanced classrooms around. Let me see. Here's one of my favorite rooms. So this is we're going to take a sneak peek in here. We can't normally do this during the day because this room has some of our very special students. Mrs. Ruiz, Mr. Ruiz's wife, is our special education coordinator. And this is our special ed room. And so for our students who have some very specific challenges and some very specific needs, they're able to get some very special services here in this room. And so this room is bustling all day long. And we have some amazing staff. And it's interesting. I want to pause a moment here because this is one of the things I love about Great Hearts. We do special ed really, really well, in my opinion. Humble opinion, but in my opinion. And why this is important, I was actually talking with a colleague of mine in Arizona just a couple minutes ago about this, Kos Van Leeuwen. So if you're there, Kos, hello. But when we talk about what it means to be human at Great Hearts, we go deep. And oftentimes, when we think about the value that our friends and our family bring to us, it's really a value that is selfish. And what I love about our special ed is very, very unique. I have someone in my life who has autism, and this young man, I love him dearly. He doesn't really like hugs. He doesn't really he's not really a smiley person. As he's gotten older, he's gotten a little bit more comfortable with social graces. But when he was a kid, you really didn't get the feels from him. And it was interesting. I love him. I mean, he's very dear to me, but I never get the feels back. And yet that's okay for me. I realize that actually I am more human. I act more human when I give of myself without expecting necessarily anything in return. And that's one of the reasons why I love special education and why I love that our special education, what's called a least restrictive environment, our SPED kids, they spend most of their time in the regular classrooms, and we only pull them out here, down here when absolutely necessary, which means all of our students get to experience what it's like to love on someone and give yourself to someone when they can't really reciprocate. And it just becomes normal. I know at Northern Oaks, there's a little boy, his name's Justin, fantastic kid. And he has some equipment. He's got a wheelchair and he's got this standing wheelchair. And I remember a couple of years ago, there was actually a problem because the students were arguing over whose turn it was to make sure that Justin had a great recess. What kind of a great environment is that where kids can grow to not just see kids who are different as normal, but to see that the best thing to do is to make sure that their experience is just as good, if not better than their own. I just think that's fantastic. I love what we do. More of our virtues here. So let's keep walking. So I'm going to sneak in here. We have some of our Latin teachers. So Miss Sloan and Mr. Ayers, if you can turn around and say hello. All right. Selwyn, there we go. Of course. So our Latin teachers are busy, hard at work. And Mr. Ayers, who is that lovely young lady on your desk there?
That's my wife.
Recently married this year. Lucky young man. Well done. All right, I'll let you guys get back to work. So come on down here, and we're going to go up the stairs. It's kind of nice. One of the funniest things is when I initially looked at this property, before it was built, it was a kind of a scrub forest. You know, there were some oaks and things. Not sure if the glare, if you can see there. And we came to decide, all right, what is the name going to be? And I thought, forest. There's a forest here. So why don't we do Forest Heights? And then they built the school and they removed the forest. But it's okay. We live in an area where there's a whole lot of trees. So I'm going to pause here. This is an amazing young woman, Medora Neely. She is our Athenaeum Coordinator. Athenaeum is our after-school program. It's not just for homework. She organizes events. She organizes different groups to come in. And she is a fantastic part of our school. She does some amazing stuff. So this is her office. As you can see, it's crammed with all sorts of things. But she is amazing, and Athenaeum is amazing. My kids have been in it since the beginning. And some of my favorite stuff, she doesn't like it when I say this. One of my favorite ones ever was they brought in an ornithologist who brought in owl pellets. And the kids in Athenaeum were able to dissect the owl pellets and put it all back together in the skeleton, which was fascinating. But she's had the ballet out here. I'm drawing a blank. What are some of the other things? Do you remember anything, Mr.? What's that? Oh, yeah, rodeo. So if you're thinking about, right, Athenaeum, you need some way of caring for your kids after that 325 period of pickup. Definitely. Athenaeum is a fantastic program. Can't emphasize it enough. And they do help the kids with homework, but it's just more than that. I just want to make sure you understand it's more than that. So, all right. Well, this is a fun room. So this room here is a future 8th grade room, but right now it's a storage because, well, we don't have all our desks in the room because we're social distance, so we're kind of storing stuff here. But for those of you who have 7th graders, eventually this will be a 8th grade room. Mr. Quintana's room. Mr. Quintana, wave hello. So one of the things that Mr. Quintana is going to be doing is you're going to be actually pushing into our lower school classes this year, right?
We are.
And so why are you not having the students come up here? Why are you going to the students?
We will be heading to the students, Mr. Yano and I, to limit the amount of times that students have to go into the hallways. So they don't have to worry about crossing paths with 7th grade who's going to be up here making noise with all their lockers, right? True. So we'll be able to go to them. It's a more controlled environment, and we're actually kind of excited about going to the classrooms.
Well, and I appreciate that flexibility because you're also in Legoland here, it looks like, with desks. And so we're utilizing this space to store all of these desks last year. They're filled with students, and we're looking forward to them all being filled again as your family becomes more comfortable with the environment and COVID and stuff. But right now, Mr. Quintana, thank you for letting us use your room as a bit of a storage room.
Yes.
All right. If you haven't yet seen some of Mr. Quintana's videos, I'm amazed at the level of energy that he brings. So we are in our 7th and 8th grade wing right now. And again, remember, we are going to be this building here will house our eventual full K through 6. So long term, this is going to be a 5th through 6th wing. So I'm going to talk about this area in terms of 5th and 6th grade. Beyond those doors where that exit sign is, that is going to be our 3rd and 4th grade. But here, this is where we will long-term have our 5th and 6th. Why do we separate it? Well, when we go to middle school and we start in 7th grade, that's a big transition. I know I went to a K-8, and then when I went to 9th grade, man, what a different world it was. It was a complete culture shock to me. And so we want to make sure that our students transition from kindergarten all the way through 12th grade, that as they grow and they learn, we're able to help them accomplish that. So, well, we start off with lockers. Do they really need to? Not really, but it helps us to give them the opportunity to learn how to transition, how to move back and forth in between the rooms, how to learn how to, okay, it's 3 right and then 2, and okay, I have the number right here. Oh, no, it's smudged, right? You remember that and how difficult it was to kind of learn this, but how important it is to, as my sons who are now a senior, and I now have a student at Hillsdale as a freshman, and they said, it's just really important. You have to learn how to go to the bathroom, access your locker, get a snack, talk to your friends, and get to class all in 5 minutes. And that's just a good thing to learn how to do, is to organize your time and to prioritize things. And so we want to make a space for our kids to be able to do that. But right now, this is going to be our 7th grade area. And yeah, there's one of our rooms. So we have a couple rooms that aren't being used right now, and so we've even socially distanced our staff. So this is one of our staff workrooms, and so our staff can stay 6 feet apart. Again, the whole idea here is we can't prevent an infection. That's impossible. But when a COVID infection does come, we want to make sure that it affects the least number of people possible. And so anyway, so now our 6th grade area, and all right, I'm just kind of checking out. Isn't this a beautiful painting, Mr. Ruiz? That is stunning. All right. So let's see here. I'm not seeing any teachers. I guess it's 5:30. Good. They should be at home. All right. So we're starting to get some other classrooms ready. So we still have some equipment and stuff in the hallways, and we're getting cleaned up, ready for Monday. Is there anybody in here? No. Man, they've all gone home. Well, I guess they should go home. Well, we're now getting into the art room. And so art we will be doing in the classrooms. So let's come in here. This is Mr. Amon's room. And one of the things that our students will be doing when they come to art is they will be sitting in as close to their normal seating chart as possible. So obviously the tables are different, the chairs are different, but when they come here, we want them to be sitting near the students who they normally do. Why? Well, again, if the virus hits, we want to make sure that students are near the normal desk mates that they are, so we have the lowest number of students who have to quarantine for the shortest amount of time. And I don't know about you, I didn't have much art at all in elementary and high school. Elementary, I remember I had 1 year, one real year of art. By the way, I really loved my elementary school, but we just didn't have a lot of art for whatever reason. Anyway, I love coming in here. This is Mr. Amon's room, but Mrs. Rogers is the one who is here. She's had a baby, so she's on maternity leave and helping our art teachers. But our students don't just come in here and play. They don't just come in here and express themselves. What a ridiculous idea. They come in here and they learn. They learn space and form and shape and line. And Mrs. Rogers, she rolls her eyes when I talk about this board, because I love this, because one of the things Mrs. Rogers told me when I was interviewing her a long time ago is that where she used to work and teach some high schoolers. And the school that she taught at, the art classes that these students had before was, just come in, express yourself, draw something, whatever sort of makes you feel good. I'm probably exaggerating, but the point is she had some students in 10th and 11th grade who were really talented, who loved art. They were born to be artists, but they didn't know how to do any of this. So here they had this desire and this passion to do something, but they didn't have the skills. I just can't fathom the sadness that is. And so when we do art, when we do music, when we do anything here, it's not just a matter of, hey, enjoy yourself. We want to teach the skills. We want to teach what is real so that the student's capacity to enjoy something goes beyond just, hey, look at this cute drawing that goes on my mom's fridge. My kids, and none of my kids are a Monet or a Van Gogh. They have all their ears. But they've done some pretty phenomenal work, and I've been really impressed. And my son's going off to be a mathematician. He loves mathematics. He's attending Hillsdale to be a mathematics major, applied mathematics, but he likes drawing. Why does he like drawing? Well, he went through Great Hearts art program and he got to learn how to do it So when he sits down with a blank piece of paper and a pencil in his hand, guess what? The kid can draw. It's kind of cool. I like it. All right. So this is Mrs. Soriano's room, a.k.a. our other storage room, but she's not in here right now. Let me see here. More walls just begging for student work. Mr. Mulder is already anticipating student work and has a backdrop here ready in beautiful blue. This room right here, this is where a lot of our ESL and intervention happens. And so we have a number of students for whom English is just one of the many languages that they speak. And so we like to make sure that they get some extra special help. But also we have math interventionists on staff. We have reading interventionists on staff. I have a dyslexia specialist because we really want to take care of all these kids and give them the best education that we possibly can. And, hold on. This is really cool. Remember Medora, who I was talking about you before? All right. Yeah, this is Miss Neely. This is Miss Neely in the flesh. In the flesh. Guess what? I told them about the owl pellets.
Oh, great. Yeah,
So
these are all of the new Athenaeum teachers.
awesome. Hi, Athenaeum teachers.
We are doing our training socially distanced and borrowing Mr. Mulder's classroom.
And I'm completely bombing and spamming it. So, all right, would you mind, can you tell me the top 3 things in the last year, different groups that you have brought in as an example of some of the different educational programs that they can experience here with Athenaeum?
I brought in the San Antonio Stock Show and Rodeo, so our students learned how to rope dummy cows. We also brought in the Austin Arachnological Society, and there were way too many spiders for me to be comfortable with, but our students really enjoyed it. We also brought in the Gastronomy Company, and I was blindfolded and had to tell, I had headphones on also, and had to tell the students what taste I was experiencing, what food I thought I was tasting. And that was really interesting to take away your other senses and just rely on one.
Was that actually hard to figure out what things taste?
It was really hard. I think it was yogurt, but I don't remember. I don't know. It was difficult.
Well, so families, if you need some extra care after school, our Athenaeum program, Miss Neely, is phenomenal. So glad that I could just see you. That actually worked really well. So please consider signing your kids up for Athenaeum. It's a fantastic program. So you may have seen as Mr. Ruiz was walking down the hallway, this is a stairwell. And so we've bought some things here, chairs and dividers and whatnot. And the idea here is this just adds to our space so that we can utilize it, keep our kids apart, but also get some intervention and instruction. So, Mr. Ruiz, let's get a shot from the top here of our new playground area. So let you take a second here. Look at this. You guys believe how much room this is? This is incredible. The amount of space, and parents, yes, I know, you're welcome. They will not be coming home with as much mud on their pants and stuff as they normally did. There might be some rug burns because that is not real grass, that's AstroTurf. But that is a gigantic field. Actually, this is pretty amazing. So they'll be running around out here playing with balls and lots of space to enjoy themselves. But as you look off in the distance, the scrub brush forest, that Texas green that you see out there, that's where our upper school is going to be. So next year, this will become a construction zone during year 3. Oh, there's a deer running off in the distance over by the medical center. They sometimes make a visit. But during year 3, this is going to be a construction zone. Where that mound is, that's where our athletic field is going to go. Somewhere in between here is going to be where I'm pointing, but Mr. Ruiz is pointing to them, not to me, which he should be. But over here, we're going to have a gymnasium as well, a full basketball gymnasium with some stands and places where we can get some treats while we're watching games. I enjoy doing that at Northern Oaks and Monte Vista North. My kids have been involved in athletics. Athletics at Great Hearts, it's an awesome thing. we have art not just because we have kids that are good at art. We have art because it's a human thing to draw and to learn how to represent things that are real and to record it. We haven't always had cameras and video cameras and things on our phone and stuff. So it's important to be able to learn how to draw, and it's a beautiful thing, and students enjoy it, especially when they learn how to do it well, how to use their voice. Guess what? The same thing applies to running and throwing balls. I look forward to some of our kids discovering that they really love a certain sport. Maybe their parents didn't play that sport. My son is and I'm not boasting. Okay, I am. Proud papa moment. My son is running track and field for Hillsdale. He's going to be a 400 hurdler. And I was a hockey player growing up. I did track and field in elementary and middle school just like everybody else did. But my main sport was hockey. I played hockey all the time. And so I didn't know track and field. And he had an opportunity at Great Hearts to do that. He fell in love with it. He fell in love with cross country, a sport he swore he would never do. And it's not that he loves running. He does love running and he's good at it. But if you ask my son, the thing that he loved the most was the community, was the friendships that he got to experience. His running, he was at Monte Vista North, two-time 2A state Texas champions, their cross-country team. But some of the friendships that he developed over those 3 years of running with that team, they will last him for the rest of his life. And those teammates formed his character, the perseverance, the determination, the grit that was developed in his soul strictly through athletics. And really, when he came to Texas, all he wanted to do was football. And he ended up loving some other sports. And I look forward to our students having that opportunity as well. So, why don't we pause here? And those beautiful things, yeah, those are traffic lights. So we're really looking forward to seeing the impact that this has on our pickup and drop-off. Mrs. Tysinger is going to be sending out an email if it hasn't been sent already. Has it been sent already, Mr. Ruiz? Not yet. Okay. And it's going to have our traffic plan. Parents, still going to be right turn in, right turn out. We talk with our police crew, and this is the best way to do it. But I will let you know that if things change and we realize the impact of the traffic, and if we are able to open things up a little more, we'll open things up a little more. I'm really glad for the crosswalks out there because I know there's a number of families. I'll wave at you because you're over there in the apartments and you live in the community back there. You walk, and I'm looking forward to that being able to be a little safer. So I'm very glad to see those lights out there. And but our traffic process, we do things pretty well. We're excited. Oh, Mr. Ruiz, you know what? Why don't I show people our new library? Okay, there's no shelves. There's no books yet. So I want you to put your creative hats on, families. Miss Thomas, who's our reading interventionist, she is working right now to develop a sort of a proposal to get these walls. And my vision for this is I want to see wood shelves, beautiful wood shelves, covered these walls. Maybe even one of those ladders, right, that's on a rail. Wouldn't that be cool? Filled with books, and books, the good kind of books that our students can come down and read and continue to develop their love of reading. So this is eventually going to be our library. Right now, it's Mr. McIntosh, our facilities director, is busily getting things ready for the school. And so right now, it's his expansion space. But so, library soon, hopefully. All right, let's come in here. This is our MPR, our multi-purpose room. Oh, awesome. We can show you this. Hold on. So I had mentioned this to you earlier, but so we have the skeleton of a picnic table. These are going to be assembled, and they are going to be outside. So I was able to pick up 10. Our PSO bought another 10, so thank you, parents. And these picnic tables are going to be areas where our kids can eat outside. So in this area, scan around, Mr. Ruiz. This area here is our multi-purpose room. We do gym here. This is also where we do our lunch. And each of these tables, if you want to focus down on one of these dots, Mr. Ruiz, there are numbers. And what this means is that This is where a student is going to be able to sit on number 18. They're going to know that they sit here on 18. And then over here, there's another student on 20. There's one over there on 19. And again, the idea is even during lunch, when our students are going to have their masks off and eating, because it's really awkward to eat through a mask. I've tried. I forget that this is on, and then I put my glass up and spill. But we're going to social distance here. But we're also making sure that there's only one grade at a time here. So the kids are going to be really spread out. And the days that they're not in here, then they will be able to be in their classroom, or if the weather's nice like it is today, they can be outside on the picnic tables. So we've got a bunch more to assemble, and we're getting ready. All the tables are also set up for our pickup day tomorrow. So if you come to school tomorrow, we really need you to come, because parents, if you're not coming tomorrow, one, we need to get this information to you. This is our kindergarten packets. But two, a lot of you need to come because we need to get you your placards. The placards? Well, come on. Let's see if Mrs. Tysinger has one that I can show you. Our placards, if you remember, are what we use for pickup. And pickup is a really important process. And so let me see if I have a placard here that I can borrow. Mrs. Tysinger. This is Mrs. Tysinger. Wave hi to our families. She is our new Director of Campus Operations. April Hufty, our former Director of Campus Operations, got a promotion, now works at home office as the Auxiliary Services Director of something. She has a really long title. Basically, it means that she's amazing in a lot more areas, and we're so happy that she's doing that because it helps everybody out, not just our school. But placards, where are they? Awesome. Great. So you're going to get this. Yes, Miss Porcelina Fodril. Okay. So there's 2 of these placards on here. You're going to get a bunch of these. And then this is going to go in the windshield. And what our faculty does is they enter this into our curb system. And then through the interwebs, that information goes from your car all the way up to the classroom. And then the students know that you're here. And then they start walking down and they stand on the dots. And then they get to go home, and the idea is that we do this quickly, safely, and have everybody managed in a decent fashion. So it's a bit of a whirlwind tour. I'm out of breath. I'm sure you have a lot of questions. So if you have questions, please don't hesitate to email Mr. Ruiz. But honestly, the first time that we get a chance to have everybody come back, we're going to open this up. We will get you back into campus, give you a chance to see inside the classrooms, watch what our teachers do, because honestly, this is, in reality, it's just a building. It's not that important. What's important are the relationships that happen between our students and our faculty, and that, quite frankly, is the most beautiful thing around here. So, families, good to see you. Come, pick up your packets tomorrow, pick up things, and pick up your supplies, and we'll get you ready for this next stage of quarter 1. Good to see you guys.